Hi, welcome back to At Your Big Age. I am your host, Dionne, and I'm joined by...
Me again, Fisher.
Hey, Fish.
Hey.
So today, it's episode 5 now of season 2. So today we're going to talk about how far is too far when it comes to manipulation whilst dating. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I think, even off air, Dee was just saying, no, but you should never manipulate whilst you're in the dating phase. But I think we all kind of, maybe not all of us, but there are elements of manipulation because you're trying to get the person you're interested in to like you that little bit more. Now,
like peacocks, where they do the thing.
Yeah. But then to be fair, that's just what they do. Like, they're not trying to, like, over-egg.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not trying to over-egg it. So the reason I wanted to talk about this is that I came across a Reddit thread. It's an old one, but when I read it, it literally blew me away. I'll drop the link in the show notes. But basically, so there's a lady, been married for 5 years, well, been with her partner for 5 years, married for 2.5. She's got a child, pregnant. And just through a conversation, when her husband was drunk one day, he basically explained to her that he made her fall in love with him. She was like, oh, how? Because she's very happy in her marriage. I think it's great. And basically what happened is that he saw her on a dating website. He messaged her. She didn't respond. So following that, I'm just going to paraphrase because it's quite a long thread. He then set up all these different profiles with different faces and started to have conversations with her. Look at Dee's face. Started to have conversations with her with different people. Started to get bits of information, then found her on Facebook, then found out where she worked. Yeah. Amongst this, he set up a profile, arranged a date, had different burner phones for all these people. She turned up for a date, then got a text from her date saying, you don't look in real life how you look online, so I'm gone. So naturally she was
down,
torn apart kind of thing, because she's like, nothing seems to be working out. In the meantime, he's then befriended her work colleague and has now started to turn up at the work drinks that they have every week. So then he's slowly mooshing his way forward. He did try and approach her and she was kind of, he's not really my type. But then one day, eventually, she was like, okay, we'll go on a date. And then from there, he started to talk about mutual interests, which were her interests.
Because he knew them all anyway.
But he knew them all anyway. And this man managed to get her to the point of marrying him and having 2 children. So her thread was a bit like,
what do I do?
What do I do? Now, this is very extreme. However, in this day and age, it's very easy to do that. Yeah. Like if you've got... Now, some people might look at it as he went after what he wanted and he did everything in his power to do what he wanted. What are your thoughts on it, Tay?
He tricked her.
Absolutely.
He absolutely tricked her and maneuvered her into a space or a relationship, marriage with him on falsehoods. It wasn't, obviously for him, he was into her, but he manipulated her into being into him. Mm-hmm. You know, he made himself her only option, almost.
Yeah, literally. Then that's what he did. Because he would set up all these situations that would fail. So then when he's now coming as a hero, so she's like, This is what I've been waiting for all this time. When actually, the person that you're playing yourself out to be, you're not. And he works in IT. So I guess he knows all the little
loopholes
and things that
he's wasted his whole talent.
He's a scumbag.
He's wasted his whole talent. He could be out here infiltrating whole countries. Yeah. And he's just worried about this. This mad. That's madness.
Do you know what? Now I see what you're talking about. It's definitely giving serial killer vibes.
It's
I'm not going to lie.
That's what I was thinking of when you were saying that.
If he did all of that just to get her, what's he going to do if she leaves him?
Right.
He's a different type of brother. So I'll tell her, be very, very careful. That's number one, be very careful because that ain't normal. I get sometimes men, when you first started this, I was thinking, where's Dee going? When Dee's talking about manipulation, you should never manipulate. And then you started to say certain things, and I was like, all right, there's an angle where you kind of, I don't know, you might not be too into, I don't know, Love Island. And you know she's really into Love Island. So you might watch 1-2 episode of Love Island or something just so you can strike 1-2 convo. So there's that level of manipulation. And then when she gets with you, she realizes you don't even watch TV. But, you know what I mean? There's that level of one. But
that's more controlling the situation.
Yeah.
But controlling the situation, is that not an element of manipulation?
Yeah, but it's like a lesser form of.
So that level of manipulation, I think, is acceptable.
Yeah.
You're allowed to, like, you know what I mean? If you're not really into reading books, but you try read one book so you can relate with me on that topic, that's a bit different. It's not
but the thing is, but then you're presenting yourself on, like you're saying, on a falsehood, and isn't that eventually going to tumble down? Because, for example, Love Island, if you're saying to this girl, oh yeah,
yeah, but it's like the lesser of two evils.
Okay, but it's still manipulation though. Because
really. I'll just tell her I was only into that season.
Because you have no interest in Love Island. So she's like, oh my God, I found someone, he's attractive, XYZ, and he likes Love Island. And that would be the thing. That could be the hook for her. Yeah. So then when you now get into a relationship and you're chilling at home and she's put on Love Island and you're like, F this, the football's on. She's going to be like, hold on, but I thought you liked Love Island.
Do you know what's going to happen, Dee? If he likes her, he's going to get into Love Island. It happened to me. I'm telling you. So I'm saying to you, I never used to watch Love Island before I was in the relationship. When you get, what, did you see what happened? Yeah, I saw that. You want to watch it? Yeah, okay. And before you know it, I'm involved in the storyline too. So it becomes your truth.
Love Island's on.
Is there a relationship that doesn't have a form of manipulation in it though? I think every relationship's got
everyone does. A little bit.
There's a little bit, and there's that's a lot.
Yeah. What he did there is extreme.
Like everybody, I think everybody kind of wants to kind of mold or control to a point, or to have. Do you know what I mean? To kind of be able to sway somebody's judgment a little bit.
Have
make
influence.
yourself appealing.
Or make them more appealing to you. Like maybe you shouldn't cut your hair like that.
No, it's real talk. This is the little stuff girls will say to you. Yeah. You get a one trim and she'll be like, ooh, you know what?
Maybe you should next time do the...
Cut the beard.
Yeah.
You go cut the beard or something. She's like, oh, you made him cut it all the way down. And you're like, no, you know what? I'm growing it back.
Grow it back, yeah.
She didn't tell you grow it back. It's just the way she said it. Oh, you cut
but remember, we're talking about in the context of when you first meet somebody. So like, for example, I don't know, what do men like to do? Men like to present that they have a lot of money.
Only if they got no personality, but that's a different story.
I feel you on that. That's false advertising, and that's where you end up with a city girl you can't afford.
Right. So rather than present yourself as your true, authentic self, is that not a little bit of manipulation?
Nah, because that's not. In that instance, the guy can only hold that out for so long. So at the end of that, he's the one that's going to be hard done by because he's the one that's having to keep that up. So it's manipulation, yes, but it's to his detriment. So there has to always be an element of manipulation to a point. But once you've got that person, there's a very fine line between manipulating a situation a little bit or controlling the whole situation. That's where it merges and it becomes like the manipulation and control. If it veers too far onto the controlling side, then we've got a problem. But and even if it veers too much onto the manipulation side, we've got a problem. It kind of has to be like I feel like a happy medium where you're both kind of doing things because you know that the other person not likes it, but they're interested in that. Or I'm going to get my hair cut a certain way because I know she likes it because she said it before. So she's manipulated you into getting your hair cut. Same way, your nail colour. Oh, I've got my nose done red. Don't really like red.
No, I don't. White tips or white.
White. And then now he's planted the seed. Now he's manipulated you into every single time you get your nails done, you're always getting the same. So there has to be a little bit of harmless. Do you know what I mean? It's not toxic. The word manipulating sounds like it's toxic. It's not always like that, but it can be.
But I mean, suggesting a nail colour I don't think is it's a suggestion. But remember, we're taking it back to dating stage. So you're not together. So if a man kind of came and told me about the color of my nails, I'm going to ignore everything. I'm going to ignore everything you just said, because who are you at this stage to be talking to me, advising me on my nail color? Do you understand what I mean? Okay. What do you
have to give me a scenario, because I can't put myself in. Because I've never manipulated someone into dating me, so I can't look at it.
No, knowingly?
Nah, ever. No, not at all. Manipulate into. Nah.
Okay, let me think of an example. So you've seen someone that you're interested in, and let's say she likes to go to a particular event. You have no interest. Let's say it's a house event. You've got no interest in house music. You actually can't stand it, to be quite frank.
I know where you're going with that. Would I put myself in the house rave?
I'm not, no, but I'm just trying to, basically, yeah.
Nah, because I can't stand house music. And this is what I don't understand. Like, no, I wouldn't. I'm not, no. If we're going to, and that's where it starts veering into weird territory. If you're going to do something like that, and then every single time she goes somewhere, she's your face. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're at the bar. You're right. You're at a barbecue. Oh, you're right. Like,
you putting out your rubbish.
You're right. Yeah, there's only so many times that you can keep bumping into this law of averages. You keep bumping into the same person over and over again, you're going to have a conversation with them. I'll tell you what I have done. I've seen someone on a train or getting on a bus or something at a certain time more than once and tried to make
get back there for that time.
Because we've smiled.
That was high school time.
Yeah.
You see a certain gal on the bus, you're like, yo, them girls come at this time.
At this time.
To make sure you're at the bus stop, and I hope she's coming today.
Yeah, that's harmless manipulation. Like because there's already been something between you and that person. That you smiled. There's a whole section of it in the Metro where people I always wonder if then people buck each other again. Oh, like if this was you
can write in the Metro.
You were on the train at 7:45.
You had
a green jumper.
A green jumper. I had a red hat. You were doing your crossword. I looked up. You dropped your pen. I gave it back to you. You got off at the next stop. Like the whole bit in the Metro about it. I always wonder. Yeah. So that I get that. Like that's manipulation, but that's like manipulation that can turn into something. But the weirdness of it, I feel like that's where the problem is. When it turns into, if you cannot tell your story without your brethren going, huh? Then there's a problem. If you have to ask somebody, is this weird? You already know it's weird. Because that's not normal.
Yeah.
For someone to take that much time. And this is, again, with the social media thing, this is the problem. People can be 5 or 6 different people. And all your information is already somewhere. It's nothing for them to do the
background checks.
Dr. Evil sitting in front of 50 TV screens trying to work out where you're going while stroking a cat and spinning on a chair. Do you know what I mean? It's long. Who's got time for that? It's weird.
Well, the guy in this thread obviously had that time.
And the thing is, what I want to say to you, Fisher, as well, is that, not every guy benefits from handsome privilege where you don't really have to do much to get a woman. Do you understand what I mean?
There was a compliment in there somewhere.
Yeah, deep down somewhere there was a compliment.
Yeah, but
hear me. Okay,
go on. Right. I hear you.
So, yeah.
No, I hear, and I know you're going with it. And they have to.
So
it's a bit like Hitch, the film Hitch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where
what happens in Hitch?
He
basically sets up scenarios for men who don't have handsome privilege
to meet the women they want,
get the woman that they want. So it's like there'll be a woman that has a dog, and he'll give this guy a dog and make him walk in the park.
A bit like Boomerang when
a bit like that. Hitch, that sort of thing. But literally, in that movie, they set out these scenarios, not as extreme as that guy in that thread, but it's manipulating somebody who wouldn't be able to get their dream woman to be the ideal for her by kind of doing all sorts of different things that she would be interested in, or kind of that type of stuff.
See, and I don't really feel like that's. like, I think placing yourself somewhere
It's not manipulation.
is not manipulation.
Placing you somewhere. No, turning up if I know you lot are going somewhere, but not because I know you two, because I've looked on your week's worth of posts and I know you're going to be somewhere, or I've zoomed in on a picture in an event, the last event, and you were there, and the one before that you were there, so the chances are you're going to be there again. That's when it turns. It's a bit weird because it's veering into like stalking territory.
Yeah.
And that never ends well.
No.
When it gets there, there's never a story. Oh yeah. Oh, how'd you meet? He was my stalker.
It's true.
He stalked me for 6 years. He stalked me for 6 years. We fell
down.
in love. He broke me down. He turned up everywhere. I was having a whole baby. He was the doctor that was delivering the baby, and now we're together. Like, no story ever ends like that. But it's just weird.
Okay.
Apart from this woman's, he stalked her to death.
She did stalk
Yeah,
her.
he stalked her to death. To the men in the room, do you ever feel like you have been manipulated into anything?
100%.
All the time, probably.
100%. But I feel like when women do it, it's a softer manipulation because they'll do stuff and throw it out there like, you know, I'm crazy. And you're like, oh, whatever. Everyone says that.
So
and then there'll be a little telltale sign. There's something that happened. You'll meet a girl and, you know, she'll tell you something like, you know, I've never ran into my exes after I've done with them. And at the time when she's saying that to you, that goes over your head. You're like, okay, yes, you're not with them no more, so you're not going to see them. You end up having children with that woman. Now, bearing in mind, when you first met this woman, she told you, when I broke up with my exes, they never saw me again. You have children with this woman. For whatever reason, you lot now break up. Pew, she goes. You're like, wait, what? What happened? You didn't beat her. You never cheat on. It wasn't that. You just broke up. But now that you broke up, pew, she's done. You would have felt like, you know, you're sleeping with her best friend type of thing. Then you actually deep back and you think back to the whole cause and you think, right, but when I met her, she was engaged and broke up with him and then never saw him again. That's weird. People usually run back, especially if you're engaged to someone local. You're going to run back into them. You mean this person really outplanned their whole life because they know where this person's going to be, so they made sure they're never going to run into that person again. You're that meticulous. You then move on and you think we're getting older. You're maturing. Maybe you don't handle situations like that no more. And then so said, so done, them gone with the kids. Now in that way, she told you, if she told you from the beginning, listen, if we have kids, I will leave you. What, and run with the kids? Yes. You probably never would have entertained this. But gently she told you, you know, if I finish with you, you're not going to see me again.
But the thing is that manipulation?
manipulated?
If she's told the truth, though, is that manipulation? Because she told you.
She told you. Manipulating would be you lot break up and she finds herself every single... But we've all had a link or something that had the ability... It was almost like a superpower. Every single time you're somewhere, so you get a tap on it. Ain't that mine? You're like, oh, again.
I can't say I've ever had that.
Yeah, no, we've all had that. And you never know how they get there. But they're there. Always.
Yeah, in
Carnival.
21st century, you're following someone.
Everyone
You're following one of the
goes
man on the
carnival.
snap. Who's got her?
They end up in the same set because they know where you go. They end up in the same sound system. They end up by the same float. They end up in the same rave. They end up in the same... You get on a plane, you fly on holiday, they end up at the same holiday.
Okay,
Same hotel.
Yeah, because they know, but that is them, and that's when that is weird.
Yeah, that's
But we've all had that. I feel like men might do it. When we were growing up, men kind of did it less. But it happened a lot. Now, it's like men do it a lot. There's a lot of weird guys that do a lot of weird stuff.
The game's changed a lot.
you know what I mean?
A lot of girls is wearing the pants in relationships now, and you got the man just chasing around them. To be fair, not running after them, but
okay. But that's exactly how it. But the thing is, men are supposed to pursue women.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
No, I didn't say
no,
pursue.
you see, but now you see, pursue. What's the difference between pursuing and manipulating and stalking?
Do you know what? It's a fine line, I would say, between pursuing and harassment / manipulation /
Yeah, it's very fine.
it is a fine line. But if someone expresses to you that they're not interested,
Yeah.
That's
It
different.
should stop
You gotta
there,
leave.
right?
It should stop right there.
it should stop right there.
Yeah. Now you're becoming a stalker.
Yeah.
Yeah, no means
But
no.
yeah, no means no. But obviously there were situations where people, I don't know if we can talk about this.
No, but you can use the same.
Probably
woman
best
as
not to.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Just in case.
But you can use the same woman in your scenarios, the same to discuss that, because essentially she told him no when she didn't.
Yeah, so then what does she do then? No, what does she now do? Now she has this information, right? So now you're the woman that now has found out that the man of the love of your life did all this stuff, and that you're now stuck in a house with this man that you're looking at sideways.
You're now a housewife.
You're
He's
a
told you to
housewife.
stop working.
You've got 2 kids by this man.
You've got belly.
You're
Sounds
looking
like
at
you're in
them.
love, though. Sounds like whatever
'cause
happened. You're
The
here.
love, you know, it's that moment in the film where you look at the woman, looks at the guy, he's done some weird stuff, and she's like, and then it's like, I'm stuck in a house with him. He's sleeping and she's in the bed looking at him like,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with you
know
now.
what I'm with.
Can't go anywhere. You got 2 kids. Now you're worried about the influence this man's gonna have on your 2 kids, because if he can do that to you, how are your kids gonna grow up?
Oh, and he also, because his best friend got engaged, and that's how it actually came out, because the friend said, I've got to give thanks to Timothy for...
What, at the speech?
No, I think he sent a text message saying, I'm going to give thanks to Timothy for, helping me and making me fall in love with her. So the wife said, what does he mean?
Oh,
And
he
then
put the brethren onto game.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Tay,
So they're all doing it. So there's a circle of F-boys. Their whole circle's doing it. And that's what I mean. It's a weird circle from the jump, because if you're in a proper circle, you're going to come and announce that to man, and we're going to look at you the same. Like, bro, you're
for
doing
real.
all of that to get what are you doing?
That would be a red flag for your brethren.
Yeah, bro. That's when you ghost a friend.
Yeah.
Somebody ghost a friend.
Yeah, say we can't talk to you no more because
You're on some
I'm gonna end
weird
up on a
stuff.
list somewhere.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
All right, so Tay, putting yourself in the shoes of Louise. You're 5 years in. You've got a 2-year-old. You've been married for 2.5 years. You've got a baby on the way. I mean, before you knew this information, your life was good. You were happy. What do you do now?
It would probably feel like I've married a serial killer, like, but I supposedly now love him and he's the best thing since sliced bread and blah, 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 blah. But I don't know, I think I would always have an uneasy feeling in my relationship with my partner, because my mind would be like, a bit going back to what you said, if I wanted to leave him, he's going to bury me under the house. Like, I don't know. I don't know. For me personally, I don't know if I'd feel the same again. Because now I see who you really
You're
are.
seeing them, and that's not the person that you fell for.
Yeah.
That's the person that they've maneuvered themselves into being.
It would be very, very sad for me, I think. And then it would be like, would I leave? That's the question. Though.
Yeah.
Would
you
I
leave?
leave?
You definitely have to.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be the same.
Definitely
Wouldn't
have
be
to,
the
because you're
same.
walking around your house now saying, did I even like this house? Or have you managed to connive me into
Yeah.
to even get in this house? Like, my kids, do I even like
I
these
think
kids?
there would be a lot.
No, but you'd be questioning everything. Like, do I even like these kids? Did I even want these kids? Do I like you? Have you made, like, does your mum know?
Yeah.
Like, who else knows? Do the neighbours know?
Yeah.
Like, these are the questions
You'd
you
be
walking
on
around your
edge
house every
constantly
single time.
in that
Yeah.
relationship, and then that will bring down the relationship. Of
course it would.
You would now have conflict with this person.
But then what if he's saying to you, he's like, I knew I loved you from the moment I first saw you.
But I didn't love you.
And I did all of this so we could have all of this now.
I just tried to help
Why would you
have
leave-
your best life. Is that type of thing.
Why would you leave me now?
Because you're,
You're
mad.
crazy.
Because you are a mad man. And I'm
But I was the alpha male, and I went after what I wanted, and I didn't stop until I got what I wanted. And now she's got the life that she wanted, and we're happy.
But
The-
does she though?
Because
Because
flip
it's
it.
all based on manipulation.
Yeah, flip it. Because if imagine a woman did that and put herself everywhere we were at, and then you suddenly now, this is the only woman you can see in a room full of women, 24/7. You marry this woman, and then you find out the brethren says, well,
You know she's Charmaine,
You know she was-
Simone,
yeah, you know
Charlene. She was all of those. And
you know, she was like, I remember that girl that you were talking to on thing that stopped talking to you, that ghosted you on thing. Oh, that was her. Oh, this one was her. She started talking to your sister in the hairdresser, this, that, and the third. You'd be looking at this. You'd be like, nah,
I'd have to
you're
get out.
You
expecting to
definitely
get
feel like you're dealing with a psychopath.
100%.
He is a psychopath. No, he's definitely a psychopath. There's no if, buts, or maybe about that.
Yeah, it's long.
But yeah.
I mean, I'm not arguing the point. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
don't think
Because
I don't know if I would advise her to stay because of all of these red flags. I don't know if I advise her to say.
But
Now,
life
she
is-
was madly in love.
Don't say life is
She
full of
may
red flags.
stay.
Is that what you're going to say? Life is full of red. Oh.
No, she may stay.
thought you were gonna say, but
You're
life
right.
is
She
full
may
of red
weigh up her
flags.
options and be like, you know what? How life turned
But
out.
the thing
she
is, but
can
what options does she have right now? Because she's a house,
leave.
she's a housewife.
Yeah.
So he kind of convinced her to stop working to stay home with the kids.
And you know what? There's probably a stat somewhere that says that that abusive relationships usually start with something.
A bit
like
of
this.
coercive control.
Yeah, so that's probably why you should go.
But
Before
you
it
know,
turns into something
earlier you were saying that a little bit of control is all right.
Coercive control.
No, but we also said there's levels.
There's
isn't there?
levels. Are you playing with your hair? Don't do that.
There's levels of manipulations. You've had the kind of manipulations where I don't know. Because girls are kind of really good at this stuff. They'll come at you and you won't know you're talking to girls in the same circle. So one girl will go back and she'll start gloating within her circle. Oh, I'm talking to my man, you know, I swear. And whatever review she's giving you. Then before you know it, you've ended up running into one of, but they ain't told you. She never tell you, oh yeah, I'm such and such a friend and I know about you. She's going like she don't know nothing. Mm-hmm. Is that manipulation? When you end up finding out at the end, I don't know, you've been talking to 2 or 3 friends in the same circle accidentally because they all knew. Well, 2 or 3 of them might know they're talking to you, and only one of them didn't know, but the rest of them knew. That's manipulation, right?
But what were they trying to get out of it though?
Information sounds like.
All 3 of them.
Yeah. So at the end of it, you're just getting used. You're getting manipulated for D. She's gone and said it in the room. So this one right there, this one's come to you now on the slide, forward into your DM. She ain't telling you she's come. She's been sent here. Like a spy, she's been sent on.
Who sent you?
Who sent you?
Who sent you?
She ain't telling you she's been sent.
Wow, is this what we're doing nowadays?
Who sent you?
Oh,
Hey,
I mean,
Who sent you?
it must be tough out there if everybody wants the 1D.
Cost
One
of
D.
cost of living
I
crisis.
don't think they want it like that. I think that's the difference. See, with girls, that I think when they got depends on who you are. If they look at you and you're supposed to be the husband material, you're right. Then there's some guys which in certain girls' head, you're not the husband material. And none of us are going to make you husband material. With that being said, they might do something with you, but then you ain't going to make the list like that. So even if you did, you wouldn't be taken seriously. If you did fall for one of them, you probably wouldn't get very far. She would deal with you like you're the unsure bet.
But guys do that as well, don't they?
Of course.
They have, I suppose it's a girl that they pass around or what have you, and they pretend they don't know. Da, 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 da.
Never in life have I done that. Never in life.
But there are men out there that have.
They're the same men that will stalk you.
They're pass
Weirdos.
women around.
Yeah, that they literally. Well, it's what you just described there. On the flip side, where
2 or
they
3
think
the friendship circle have all been with the same
Chantel's
girl.
fine. So and so's had Chantel. He ain't telling the brethren that he's also talking to Chantel. He slept with Chantel, and the next one's thinking, "Oh yeah, she's nice. I'm gonna sleep with her too." But she might
Chantel
not
don't know
necessarily
you're
know
all
they're all
friends.
friends, or she may do. I don't know, but she might not know they're all friends because they're not telling her. I know Gavin, and I know Stephen, and I know Leon.
But how are they manipulating her into sex?
Because maybe if they were forthcoming with the fact that I know that you've been with Gavin, she'd be like, well, I can't be with you too. That doesn't work. She's just thinking
I need what I need.
yeah, and she's just sleeping with men and what have you. But when it comes to sleeping with a group of men that are like pretending that they don't know each other and that, you know.
Yeah, that's manipulation.
Yeah.
And that's the wrong kind of manipulation.
Is that not just withholding information?
No, you
No, that's
manipulated
manipulation.
us.
But then this is going back. If we go back to the Reddit, he withheld information from the woman that he knew.
Yeah, true.
You know, it's the same principle.
True. Okay, so if we can go around the room and be honest, have you used, like, even if it's mild, like,
Probably.
what kind of manipulation tactics would you say you've used? Because I'm trying to think, like, what have I done or said? I might kind of, I don't know.
Sometimes you're just nice to get what you want, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
that's-
extra nice,
that's
more
human
nice than
nature.
your natural character
That's
is.
human
You're
nature.
extra
You
nice.
might open a car door. Like,
Isn't that just chivalry?
not really, not all the time. Sometimes like, I'm gonna say this. People could be like, "Oh my god, that's a liberty." I'm gonna say it anyway. Sometimes when people aren't used to things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you will do things that the people aren't used to,
Hey,
right? No. Let me finish. And it could be anything from
go.
just being nice, because sometimes you've seen the person, you've seen the type of people that they've been with, and you know that sometimes these guys aren't nice people. They don't do
Nice
the
things.
normal things that people normally do. They're all, do you know what I mean? So you just do. Sometimes you're just nice to get what you want.
Like the man that don't kiss, yeah.
Yeah,
Kiss.
something as simple as that. You might
Maintain.
take them some, of a nice Thai place they've never been. You take them to the Thai place. Simple.
They really like Thai.
They
But
really
is
like
that
Thai.
but is that manipulation?
Yes.
I tell you
And
what
it's
manipulation
acceptable.
is. I tell you the kind of acceptable manipulation, and this is the kind of stuff that men do kind of do. Yeah, we'll be around you, for example, so I could see it might be something so small, like I don't know, forehead kisses. You kind of feel comforting, and it may be something small. And I know it's what I mean by manipulation, but you might see something like that's what her dad, not that her dad does, a little forehead kiss on her head kind of thing, something like that, but something that was reminiscent of a good memory. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you'll see men do that sometimes, give her a little forehead kiss and go, and she's like, oh, I felt
No,
so.
because even when you said it, I was like,
Oh, forehead kiss. Do you know what he even said? He might like it if he said, I might know the partners you're used to.
And
And
I
I
know what-
genuinely
and
want to
that-
talk to you,
yeah.
just talk. But instead of
Yeah.
us just talk, I say to you, are you free later on? Can we go for a walk on the Thames?
Or
I just want
something.
to talk to you.
Yeah.
And it's like,
'Cause you know they're not
you
used to
have a
that.
walk and
You
talk
know
on the
they're not
Thames.
used to-
You're
'cause
not
you
used
know
to
they're
it.
not used to that.
This ain't gonna last.
You know
We're
they're
not
not
gonna
used
be
to that.
2 years in still having these walks on the Thames.
No, but just
This
for
was
now,
in the beginning of
right.
this
You
dating
go to the
stage.
hotel.
Right. You know.
And that's how you get. So that's the light
and that's
kind of
allowed.
stuff you're allowed to.
That's allowed, man.
It's allowed.
why is it allowed?
Because sometimes you got to level the playing field and make it
Thank you.
and separate yourself. We don't hunt anymore, innit? Before we just hunt.
The boys have to separate themselves from the men.
We'd go out. He'd have his spear. I'd have my spear. Whoever comes back with the most meat wins the woman. We don't hunt anymore. Now we need to separate ourselves from the million or billion other men. We need to separate ourselves from the guys that have money, from the guys that don't. You need to be able to do and make yourself stand out. Sometimes in order to make yourself stand out, you have to do things that you know the person likes.
Of course. Everyone's going to invite you out for dinner. He knows this. He knows everyone's going to come to this rave. He knows this. He's trying to think out the box. What hasn't
extra stuff.
someone invited her to do? And then she's
Extra
going to be
stuff.
like, oh, he's adventurous. No, he wanted to get you, and he knows that you're into doing things like this. So all of a sudden, he's like, what, you done indoor skydiving? What? No, I ain't never did that. Neither has he. And if it wasn't for you getting you, he weren't going to do it either. But he's like, you know what? She's
gonna do
into
it.
something
I'm gonna do it.
adventurous.
I'm
You
gonna
know,
do it.
forget it. I'll try it.
I'll try it.
But 2 years in now, you've gone here thinking, yeah, I'm with a guy that might, this week we do skydiving, next week he wants to do that. No, next week he's in the yard, bro. He's a
and
chilling man.
this is a key thing, and this is why we should always present ourselves as our true authentic self,
Yeah.
because you are going into a situation that you cannot maintain. If you started this thing on a lie, it will fall apart on that lie. Because the thing is as well, it's like when relationships and issues in relationships happen, more often than not, what the actual core issue was in the first place, it's now spiraled out into other complete different areas. You understand what I mean? So I think I would just go on the basis of, as much as I said, you know, maybe I've been nice to get what I want, but essentially, game's a game, isn't it, really?
The game's the game.
The game's a game.
Game's the game.
You make
And
a very good point, but hear this, and this is where it really boils down to. That only works depending on his initial intention, and it's the difference between men and women. There's very few times, not that it doesn't happen, but there's very few times you meet a woman initially, and your first thought is, "Oh my gosh, I want her to be my woman." You don't. Initially, men think a bit primal. Your first thing is,
Really? So you don't look at a woman and think, oh my God,
yeah, she's beautiful, yeah. But I say, but initially,
she
when
could potentially be the love of my life?
that isn't initially, no, that usually
Never.
happens later.
That's never happened to you.
Not on first look, no. It happens after a while, like maybe after you're in it for a
So
little while. You're like,
R&B's been lying to me for the
That's
past.
why I think this is a Tyler Perry movie.
No one has a look. Well, not saying no one. There are few people. Sorry, go T.
No, I was just gonna say because you said that you know men don't really see women and say, oh, I've had a friend say to me, message me, call me, I've just met the love of my life. Huh?
That does happen. It happens.
Very few and
Someone
far
that you just saw
between.
on the side of the road. Yeah, love of my
He
life.
just wants to sleep with her.
Yeah, no, but that's the difference.
Because,
When we
and I will remind him. I said, hold on. So now you realize she's a nut job that I told you she was. Now she's not the love of your life anymore.
Because
Because all we want to do initially is sleep with you. So this is the whole idea of us. We need, not like this, but the manipulating angle. Because his whole point is, if I'm only here for a month or two, then does it matter if we've had a few walks down the Thames or we've had a few...
Okay, no, this is
picnics in the park
upsetting
I've
me
made?
because someone took me
Hold
on a walk down the Thames.
You can literally call this
I told
episode
you.
Boomerang because this is the plot of the
Was
film.
I
Boomerang.
manipulated?
You were manipulated.
Manipulated. Because he, I
How
know,
many times did he
because
take you down the Thames after that?
Never.
Oh,
it was the manipulation. He knows you're not like that, but that's what you're into. This would tick your boxes. Cool. Now, after we've done it, if I end up falling for you properly, then I will start introducing you to the real me.
manipulate me.
You've got to realize the real me don't go out every day, and
This
you
is
got
what
to
I'm
love
saying.
that.
That's what I'm saying.
But initially, it's not about me
drinking,
introducing you to the
you're
real
drinking,
me.
Okay.
You're drinking Blossom Hill wine and that. You
Yeah.
don't care about Blossom Hill, but she drinks it. I'll bring a drink. All right, cool.
Blossom
Blossom Hill. You find yourself researching what wine goes with what meat and all that.
You find yourself in a
care?
nightclub talking about, what do you want to drink? Can I have a porn star martini,
Yeah, you don't
please?
care
Oh
about
my
that.
gosh, you like them
Yeah,
too?
come on,
Yes,
man.
I do. The shot
Okay.
Prosecco.
Yeah, you don't care.
Sorry, I'm still stuck on the fact that I got
You're
manipulated.
triggered.
Yes, I am.
You're
It
triggered.
happens to the best of us.
And
Join
it's,
the club.
it's allowed as well, as long as it's not mad toxic. It's allowed.
But what made them think that I would want to do
oh my gosh.
a walk along?
You probably said something. You know what it is? You know in the initial conversations when you're gathering information, and they might say, "Oh, I just want to do something different." You're like, "All right, cool, different, Boom. Fuck that." Yeah, I don't really go out. I don't really like going out. I'd be happy just go for a walk, have a conversation. All right, boom,
I would never
boom,
say that.
Write that, park that, and then next thing you know, you're going for a walk and you're having a conversation.
She's talking to her friends, talking about your ticking boxes.
Ticking boxes. She even though she gives you the information to tick every single box. But that is the pure way of doing it. That's how it's supposed to be done. That other stuff,
The extreme.
where you're pretending to be Tom, Dick, and Harry. A's. Tom, Dick, and Harry. Remember that was the thing. When you're pretending to be Tom, Dick, and Harry, like that's wild. And manipulated the whole. I hope it was warm still.
It was, it was actually a lovely day. I'm not going to lie.
You can't be walking down the Thames and it's freezing cold. You know, another thing that men do, just to close, the killer manipulation from men is a picnic. If a guy ever rolls, if you ever, as a woman, if you ever go and meet a guy and he organises a whole picnic, you're in trouble.
Oh
No, because that's
You're in
like...
trouble.
my friend has done that.
No, but I would love
your,
that.
your friend is a G.
Oh God, let me not say this on air for someone trying to manipulate
Your friend is a
me.
G.
I don't like
is
picnics.
A1 manipulation. Picnic, basket and everything.
You know what it is with that one. That's
But
the
it
one.
shows effort though.
It does, doesn't it? Because you're
No.
going to turn around and be like, well, money. 'Cause that's the whole angle of, well, he doesn't always need money. Everything we don't have to do have to be expensive. So in the beginning, he'll show you, I could do all ranges. We could go to a nice, expensive bar. Tomorrow, I can meet you and take you for a picnic in the local park. I'll fry some chicken.
The game
Bring
is
the
game,
little
man.
speaker. We'll have two convo. You'll be like, yo, my man was just reasoning with me in the park. We had a deep conversation about love languages.
And looked at the clouds.
Why you look at me like that?
And looked up at the clouds.
Just
What's
realised
your
my
love
friend
language?
is a master manipulator.
Yeah. And you know what? There's a whole book. Art of Seduction. Art of Seduction.
Yeah, I've read it.
Art of Seduction. 48 Laws of Power.
Got it too. You read the 5 love languages too?
Nah, we haven't read
You ain't
that
read
one.
that?
Love,
No, read it, bro. Read it, bro.
what's the other one? There's another one, but these books, Master Manipulator. Some of the biggest, like Casanova, Master Manipulator.
I started to read The Art of Seduction and I think I got bored.
Very wordy.
I got bored. I
very
might try
wordy.
again. But
Try.
it's written from the perspective of a man for men. So I think maybe it would be good for women to read so they know what to kind of look out for.
But those books are we should probably start with those. Those books are
The most hated on Twitter.
the
Bible.
The Bible. I was trying not to say anything religious. I hate that word, but Yeah.
No offense to our Christian listeners.
But yeah. So in closing, I don't know how to close this one out, to be honest. In closing, this is probably more for the men. I think I'm going to talk to the men.
Talk to the men.
If you are listening to this and you are somebody that has created multiple profiles in order to get to talk to somebody, I suggest you deactivate all of them now and take a time out and probably have a long, hard think about exactly what it is you're doing, because you're going down a very slippery slope. Where
Alternatively,
if people find out, your name's going to be mud, and you definitely don't want that. And alternatively,
you could book a self-awareness session with me.
you could book a self-awareness session with,
And we
with
can
Dionne.
like really
delve into what's going on. No, 'cause
what's
there's
going on.
if you're having to do all of that, there's definitely some things happening that you probably need to talk to somebody about. So
You know, find yourself a confidence coach. Find yourself a therapist. There's so many things out there that can help you to build your confidence, so you don't need to do things like this at the end of the day. But yeah, that's going to be a wrap for this evening. Thank you to Tay and Dee for joining us. Thank you to my lovely co-host, Fisher. And we'll see you again next week. And it's a wrap.
Wild.
Laid bare.